I call this special meeting to order, the City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is a virtual meeting. It is Wednesday, September the 2nd, 2020. It is 6:02 p.m. And at this time, we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Flores, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Jones.
Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather this evening to conduct city business. We ask for your guidance in making the decisions for our city and our residents. We ask for your continued protection of all of our city employees who are essential workers and providing all for the needs of our city residents. We ask that you continue protecting our residents from this pandemic and from any and all illness, and to protect our law enforcement personnel, fire personnel. And we ask all of this in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Jones. Next, we'll have item 1B, roll call and finding of quorum. Ms. Garza,
Mayor Villarreal,
here?
Mayor Pro Tem Garza.
I
He's
see-
here. He's here somewhere. Commissioner Flores,
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez,
Here.
and Commissioner Jones.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Next item is 1C, public forum. Do we have anyone signed up for public forum, Ms. Garza?
No, sir, nobody called to sign up today.
Okay, for the record, no one called up for public forum?
No.
Next, business in order is a public hearing, and it is to solicit input from the public regarding the City of Rio Grande City proposed budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. It is 6:04 p.m. At this time, it is an open public hearing for anyone that would like to talk about the budget, our fiscal budget for this 2020-2021. Do we have anyone signed up, Ms. Garza, or anybody at this time that would like to discuss the public, or should I say the budget for this coming year?
Nobody called me to sign up for the public hearing.
Okay, and at this time, again, we'll open it up if anybody would like to talk about the budget for this coming fiscal year. Okay, so no one at this time. It is 6:05 p.m., the end of the public hearing. Next item is consent agenda, and it is letter A, approval of minutes from previous meetings. You have it in your packet. These are prior minutes from some of our previous meetings, and this time, if you want to peruse through them or you haven't already, entertain a motion at this time.
Yes, Mayor, I move to approve item 3A.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Flores.
I'll second the motion, Mayor.
We have a second by Commissioner Ramirez. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, raise your left hand. Motion passes. Ms. Garza, can you text Commissioner Garza, just in case that he's somewhere, just because I don't see him on the screen. Next, business and orders, item 4, items for consideration and approval, which is letter A, discussion and possible action to award RFQ number 2020-01 for Rio Grande City WWTP Rehabilitation Expansion and West 83 Sanitary Sewer Collection System Project to Rio Delta Engineering, and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents. Mr. Perez or Mr.
Mayor, Commissioners, for this one, we got Mr. Cruz to talk about the process and the recommendation.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Obviously, this is the first step in us proceeding with the grant that we received through the Texas Water Board Development. We had to select an engineer, and with that item, we can now proceed with the plans, finalizing plans, completing plans, and going about the process to get this ball rolling. But selecting an engineer is the first process in anything. We have RFQs. Actually, today was a deadline, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Garza, for the financial advisor and auditor for this application as well too. So we'll be doing those as well too. And Mr. Leonel Cantu will be leading that project or selection for us. I'll be happy to entertain any questions or if not, obviously we're recommending to proceed with this item.
Okay, and at this point, tell us a little bit about the process up to this point, Mr. Cruz.
Well, up to this point, we really can't proceed on anything until we select our engineer, because anything that we do prior to us selecting an engineer will not be considered or be able to be compensated through the actual grants that we received through Texas Water Board Development. So the first process we need to do is select the engineer. Now, once that engineer is selected, we can then go about, obviously producing the plans, formulating a plan to be able to execute this project, and then going from there.
And just for the record, why is the staff recommending Rio Delta?
Well, we actually had two firms that were participating in this, that requested sorry, my mind went blank. That requested this. We scored them, and Rio Delta was obviously ranked higher. It was very close, but obviously Rio Delta was ranked higher, obviously with their familiarity of the project and them being within the city. Their location, their office locations obviously helped them as well too. The other vendor was from Laredo. So it was very, very close, obviously. But Rio Delta, obviously, with their familiarity of the project, had a little bit more heads up on what we're anticipating to do and what our plans are and our goals are.
But most importantly, they had an environmentalist that the other company did not have. So in order to do this project, because of the location and the sensitivity of everything we have to do regarding wastewater, it's best if you have an environmentalist to making sure that you don't go out there and do anything that TCQ might come back and fine us for.
Well, and for the record, we have a very good working relationship with Rio Delta, and they have a good, excellent track record in many of the projects that I've already contracted them. So just for the record on that note, any questions, commissioners, regarding this item, or are we satisfied with the answers at this point?
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to table it, Mayor. I need a little bit more info on this, in reference to the other two companies that submitted. I'm not 100% satisfied with the process.
Sorry to interrupt you. There was only one other firm that was that submitted for the RFQ, and like I said, it was between Rio Delta and the other firm. Myself, Mr. Perez, and Commissioner Garza met. Obviously, Mr. Perez is the city manager. I'm the director, and then we have Commissioner Garza, who is obviously the liaison for the department. Met, and we scored and ranked them, and that's where we came. Like I said, it was very close, but obviously Rio Delta was selected just because of their familiarity with the project. Commissioner Garza, I think he's just walking up right now. So there was only one other firm, Commissioner Jones. There wasn't two other firms. It was just Rio Delta and another firm. But
would you like to ask Commissioner Garza some questions?
I don't have anything against Mr. Guerra. I know the job that he does for us here in the city, and I have almost respect for him and everything. I just feel that this should have been brought to our attention.
Well,
not just throwing at us like this.
Commissioner Jones, to answer your question, this wasn't just thrown at you. This was actually an item that was on the last commission meeting for us to be able to go out for advertisements and then select the highest ranked firm. Like I said, this isn't a matter of, it's a matter of, we ranked the firms, and Rio Delta was ranked the highest firm. This wasn't something that we're just throwing at you. This was actually on the last agenda.
But where are the
Last
packages
meeting.
then? Where are the packages? Why haven't
The
I
city-
seen them? Why haven't I seen them?
Sir, if you ask me, I can definitely give them to you, and the city secretary has them as well too. So it's just a matter of you asking.
I don't need to
Yeah,
be
well,
asking, sir. It needs to be handed over to us.
What,
Everything
sir?
is handed over to us, and I have all due respect to Mr. Guerra. I'm just a little troubled with the process. That's all it is.
To what Mr. Jones is referring to, so in the past, I think when kind of for other big projects, I think the commissioners have been involved in scoring the I guess the RFQs or RFPs, and I think that's what he's referring to as far as us having more, I guess, input or being notified as far as what the companies, which companies we're considering or not considering, and to be able to score them in that sense. But again, unless I'm wrong, I'm not sure.
Well, we checked with legal, we've checked with everyone, on the process, and I followed every rule. Made sure we dotted our I's, crossed our T's. The city secretary actually checked it with legal every step of the way, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Garza. The packets, as far as the packets go, I don't know exactly what packet you're referring to, the actual packets that the engineers referred. By all means, you can request that the city secretary has those packets. I don't know what else to tell you, other than we followed every procedure that was asked for. We checked with legal, we checked with Texas
What are
Water
the
Board Development
timelines,
Office
Mr.
process.
What are the timelines right now that, where are we as far as timelines for this project?
Well, obviously, one of the biggest issues that we have is obviously trying to get the plans going and get everything going, because we are behind with TCQ, and obviously there's a lot of violations that we have with TCQ. One of the biggest things they want to see, and one of the biggest things we showed them, is that once we pass the agenda item to proceed with this, they were happy because we actually were getting the ball rolling.
Right.
I'm not going to tell the commission what to do, but obviously this is something that we followed with legal. We checked with legal. We did everything right. Commissioner Jones, if you have concerns, my door is always open. You can sit down. We can sit down with the city manager and myself and discuss what those concerns are. But as far as the procedure, we followed everything, and we took it to the council for advertisement. It advertised for 2 weeks. We did the scoring and selection. Everything was followed. And we're here to proceed with this project.
Well, it is, but based on what I'm seeing here, looking at the, I guess the scoring, do we have it? Because I don't see it in the packet either. I don't see
The scoring, the city secretary has them.
But hold on, not to say we don't trust, but at this point, is any time in these processes is okay to look at it and see, okay, you know what? And I see what Commissioner Jones is asking is, where is this in the packet? Is this an item that we just included on here, but not include those items in here in the packet for all the commissioners to just see and then proceed on an item? So where's all that information? And are we lacking it here, or is it?
Everything is with the city secretary, sir.
Okay.
Can we just bring it back next week, so that, and just have a special meeting to approve, so we can make sure we got information that needs to be presented accordingly?
Okay, so just for the record, next time we have these items, let's go ahead and include all these scoring systems that we use. That way the commissioners can see it. Again, just for the process to be formalized and make sure that.
That's all I want, Mayor. I just want it to be done right. That's it. I don't have anything else other than I want to see it. If I don't see it, I'm not going to vote in favor for it.
And I agree with the rest of the commission, Mayor. In every other meeting, when we have items like this on the agenda, we get a packet and information that we're able to review, and I don't have it in mine either.
Well, I'm not trying to, but this is Ms. Garza's first RFQ, so we're both a little green in the process as far as what needs to be submitted. We follow legal footsteps on that. Like she told me this morning, this is our first process. We didn't know that that you required those, but we can easily put those in there.
Yeah,
Like I
let's
said,
do
they're at
that.
our office.
Let's do that from now on. Anytime we have these items, just include all those in the packet. That way the commission can look at it and see with our own eyes. That way we can make a comfortable decision moving forward. Again, just to finalize the process. And I know we've done this before, so from now on, again, nothing against Rio Delta. They've done a tremendous job. They've done so much excellent work for us here at the city. So this is nothing on at all. So just to reiterate that point. So if we
I
could-
want to make it clear also, Mayor, it's nothing against Rio Delta or anything like that, Mayor, but I'm not gonna move on anything that I don't see.
So at this time, is that what the commission favors then, table this item until we
I
entertain?
make a motion to table, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to table at this time.
A second.
I have a second by Commissioner Flores. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, raise your left. Motion carries. So we'll table at this time and make sure we bring it up in our next, Ms. Segat, when's our next meeting to make sure we include this one?
Our next regular meeting is not until the 23rd.
Oh, okay. Can this wait, Mr. Cruz, or do we need a special meeting for next week?
That's completely up to you, Mayor. If you wanted to wait till the 23rd.
The timelines, do we have to submit something? Do we have to, wait, or do we need to move on it already for next week?
Well, I know we have a very important phone call tomorrow at 9 a.m., so we'll follow up on then and find out.
Okay, so then, let's make a special meeting then for this item. We can move on it, especially with these type of projects. Okay. And if we have to set up something early next week, as in Monday, then we'll do it Monday so we can move on this item, because I know this is very important. But let's get all the packet together so the commission can see it and move on it. And in fact, let's give it to them before the meeting, give it to them by later today, if not tomorrow. Okay. Next item is 5 ordinance, letter A, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2020-6, levying ad valorem taxes for maintenance and operations and for debt service of the municipal government of the city of Rio Grande City, Texas for tax year ending December 31st, 2020.
Mayor, Commissioner, this is the same rate that been previously presented. Nothing's changed.
And is our attorney in reference to this item is specific? If you look on 5A, the motion, it has to read as follows. And it'll be a record vote.
Mr. Perez, just a quick question. So if I understand we're not increasing the tax rate, but why does it read effectively it's a 7.29% increase in tax rate? What is the difference? Why does that language read like that?
I'll have to defer to Mr. Cantu on that because I know we talked about it before.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr. Cantu?
that's the way it has to read, Commissioner. It's I know that the tax rate is not being increased itself, but the valuation of the properties did go up. So by leaving the rate at the same rate that we had last year, and the valuations go up, it means that we're going to receive more revenue this year with the same tax rate. Except that it's the valuations are higher this time, but it has to read like that. I also looked at that and I called Laura from the school district and I asked her if it had to read like that, and she confirmed it has to read like that.
So in essence, it means that we're going to receive 7.29% more because of the increase in property valuations?
Compared to last year.
Not that we're paying 7.29 more in taxes, because we're not increasing taxes. We're just a little confused on the, okay, I mean, you're.
Yeah, it sounds a little
I'd like to
confusing.
bring it up for the public, just to make sure, because that way there's no confusion. The rate is the same as 0.507579, which is the same tax rate as last year's. The only difference is property valuations are much higher this year. So therefore, we're going to be receiving higher revenues because of the increased property valuations as more developments have increased in Rio Grande City, but the tax rate remains the same. So just to be clear on that, and I'm glad you brought it up, so that way there's no confusion that people might think or the public might think that we're increasing taxes, and the answer is no, we are not. The tax rate will remain the same at 0.507579, which is the same as last year's. But fortunately for Rio Grande City, our property valuations are increasing because of all the new developments that have come to Rio Grande City in the last year and so on. So that's what's increasing. In essence, we're getting more because we have higher property valuations.
Very good.
And then, so just to reiterate that point before people are confused that we're raising taxes, and the answer is no, we're not raising taxes.
Okay, but that explains it, Mayor. So if nobody has any more questions or comments, and I'll move that the property rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.507579, which is effectively a 7.29% increase in the tax rate.
We have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez. We have a second.
I second, Mayor.
I have a second by Commissioner Jones. This time we'll have a record vote. Ms. Garza?
Yes. Mayor Villarreal,
In favor?
Mayor Pro Tem Garza,
He disappeared.
I guess he left. Commissioner Flores,
In favor.
Commissioner Ramirez,
In favor.
and Commissioner Jones.
In favor. I just want to make it clear, we're not raising taxes, right? Nothing's being pulled over our eyes or anything like that, because I don't.
No.
Rate, and just to
I'm
be
having
clear,
problems, I'm having a little bit of problems understanding this.
okay,
I
the
just want to
rate,
make sure, I'm going on the
Yeah, no.
record, I'm not voting to increase taxes.
all right, so once again, just to be clear, yeah, the rate is the same as last year. It is 0.507579, which was the same rate as last year. The difference is that Rio Grande City's property valuations are, Rio Grande City is in a better position, period, because properties have been valued at higher rates based on all the new developments. So again, for the public, we're not, absolutely not raising property taxes. They're the same as last year. However, we are going to receive more revenues because property in general have been valued at a much higher rate. And if you look at all the developments across Rio Grande City, many more developments have been produced throughout the city, and that is what's increasing in actually us getting more revenues. So to that
Yes.
point, we are
Yes,
not
Mayor.
raising
And-
taxes.
Mayor, and if you could see on the ordinance, at the bottom, in the second whereas, it'll tell you there that it's effectively, the tax rate will effectively be raised by a negative 32.62%. Which means that the maintenance and operations, it's approximately a negative $3.90. So it's not being raised.
Okay, I want to go on the record as well, Your Honor. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you.
I'm also-
I've been elevated, thank you.
I am in court all day, Mayor, so I'm used to saying Your Honor. But I want to go on the record as well, Mayor, that I'm also not in agreement to increasing taxes. So if it does not, essentially does not increase the tax rate, then I'm in favor of it as well. As long
Okay,
as it
but
does
to
not.
be clear then, we are voting in favor of this, right? I mean,
Yes.
because, okay, so let's not then be duplicitous here and not, okay, so we're in favor of this.
We're in
However,
favor, yes, as long as it
Okay.
doesn't, it's not an increase, yes.
however,
No, it's not an increase.
I know, right? The language just makes it seem,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But, so to our attorney, does that satisfy us moving forward with this? Based on our conversation, all right, so we're good.
Yes, it does,
All
Mayor.
right, so motion passes. Just to reiterate the other item, so let's all plan to have a special meeting next week then, so we can move on. The item,
Mayor, real quick, since everyone's wanting to go on the record, I want to go on the record as well too. I just received word that this project is a year actually behind schedule. And we actually have a phone call with Nat Bank tomorrow. I think that's a conversation I talked to you about last week. And in that conversation, they're gonna ask, where are we at with this process? And if we've selected our engineer. So I just want to put that on the
That's fine.
record that that's a very important phone call that we have tomorrow.
we'll let them know that we'll have a special meeting, very soon to cover this item, and that way, if we can move on it by Monday, commissioners, are you available by Monday? We can have this specific item. Just make sure that all the commissioners have those packets so we can move on it. And then you can report to us the conversation you all have with, was it NetBank? With NetBank tomorrow, and that.
Yes, sir.
Continue with this.
Yes, sir.
This item. But let's have a special meeting so we can move on this item, because I know you're talking about quite a bit of money in reference to this major project. So we can dedicate that time specific to this project. You can fill us in on the conversation you have with NetBank tomorrow. So.
Yes,
but
sir.
Make sure, Ms. Garza, that all the commissioners have those packets with the scoring systems and all that.
Yes, yes, I have the packets here. I did mention to Steve that if he wanted to put them on, but he, he didn't think you all would need them, so that's why they weren't put on the packet.
Okay, so, well, is there a way to see them here on the screen for everybody to see now, and we can take a look at it?
I can
Back
go
to this
ahead and
item?
scan them and show them on the computer if you want.
Well, is that instead of having to come back for this, can we just look at them?
Yeah, if you want, let me go
We can
ahead and
take care of
scan
it
them
now.
real quick, and I'll go ahead and put a screenshot of it.
Commissioners, you okay with that? You want to wait till another special meeting? Commission, what do y'all
Hello?
think? Yes, can you hear me? Couldn't hear you.
I don't like to be put on the spot, Mayor.
All right, so then that's fine. We'll just wait till special meeting, give it to them, and then we'll proceed on this item. Okay, thank you.
I'm good for Monday. We need to have a meeting on Monday where I'm good for it.
Okay,
I just don't like to be put on the spot.
Just
All right.
to let you all know that City Hall will be closed on Monday.
Oh,
that's right, it's Labor Day, so, when's the next earliest
well,
meeting?
what
mean-
do the other commissioners think?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm only
have
one.
it here. I can scan it and I can put it on the computer and you all can see it on the screen. I mean,
Honestly,
we're
I'm
here.
ready to move on it simply because if we see it, I don't think we're gonna come up to a different conclusion. I trust that our directors and Mr. Perez, they've done a good job, and Rio Delta has done a tremendous job before. So personally, if we can take care of it already, I would not. I just don't think we're gonna arrive at a different conclusion. But again, if we wanna wait, commissioners, do you rather wait or do you wanna just take care of this? I just don't see us going into, I just don't think we're gonna arrive at a different conclusion, to be frank with you. But
Mayor, and for the record, if for some reason the council decides that they want to go a different route, we would have to re-advertise this entire project. That's going to take another 2 weeks. Then you'll have to select again, which will take another week, and then we'll have to bring it to council. So you're looking at pushing this back at least another month and a half.
well, at this time,
Well, I'm not talking about going and stop putting words in our
Yeah.
mouth, Steven. Stop putting words in our mouth, bro.
I'm not putting
I'm
words in
putting
our
words
mouth.
in our
Commissioner. I'm
mouth,
just saying
sir.
if we go that route. Commissioner,
No,
I'm not
stop
trying to
putting
put
words in our
mouth.
mouth, sir. Yeah, that's not,
trying to do that, sir.
shouldn't be directing the council like that, sir.
all right.
I'm just advising the council.
Oh,
Mayor,
well, that's
yeah.
bad advisement.
No, no, it's okay, and I thank you, Mr. Cruz, for that information. We'll go ahead and to be fair to the process, I'm good with directors recommending, and I'm good, okay with them directing as far as the conversation to some degree, of course. But at the same time, yes, it's, how do we move forward with this? So commissioners, do you rather wait, or can we take care of this now? Like I said, I don't think we're gonna arrive at a different conclusion, to be frank with you. I mean, but if you wanna wait, let's go ahead and wait. So I think we already tabled it, so commissioners, you wanna wait until Monday or, well, Tuesday would be the next available time? Or can we look at it already and move on?
I have a question, Mayor. So
Sure.
if we have two firms already and that were considered this time around, why would we have to go through the rebidding process? If let's say, for example, we were to decide that we want to go with the other firm instead of Rio Delta.
No, I don't think we
Why-
would.
I believe that's what
Either
Mr. Cruz stated. Mr. Cruz stated that it would delay it another month because we would have to go through the rebidding process again. And we're basically just considering the two firms that already submitted.
Right.
So that
Commissioner,
wouldn't be
to answer-
necessary.
Either one. If we
Yeah,
don't,
to answer your question, Commissioner, and Mr. Sabas is here, I think he can clarify, is we've already scored and selected and ranked them. If you decide to go and rescore and re-rank, you can't do that. You would have to obviously go out and advertise again. Now, those two firms can go and apply
Right.
again, but we've already scored and ranked them.
But
So
we
if
wouldn't
you go and say,
necessarily,
oh, we're gonna rescore and re-rank them, that would completely throw everything out. You can't do that. And Mr. Sabas, I think you can confirm that.
can't hear you, Mr. Quiroz. Cannot hear you, Mr. Quiroz.
Is that good? Is that good? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, that is correct. Because of the process, not necessarily the process of gathering other firms, but the scoring process, if it was already done, submitted, and staff recommended, I think that's what Mr. Cruz is referring to. But to see your point, Commissioner Flores, it's not that they're bringing in somebody else, but rather that the city manager has already scored the firms that did submit for the proposal for the RFQ.
okay, but it wouldn't be necessary to rescore. Let's say we have these two firms. And Mr. Cruz did state that they were really close in the scoring. And it is a recommendation that they're making. And again, I also have nothing against Rio Delta. I haven't even seen any of these reports to be able to make an informed decision today. But if we have these two firms who scored really close and the directors are making a recommendation, that doesn't mean that we have to follow that recommendation. If we decided to go with the other firm without having to rescore, we could do that, correct? We lost Mr. Quiroz.
He's you know what?
The question was from Mr. Quiroz.
Yeah, he's gone. He left the building. All right, so then let's plan for, I guess we have the Labor Day, I think it's Monday, so we can wait till Tuesday to take care of this. That way we can move on it, but get the packets to everyone. And that way we can move on it. Like I said, I do not see us arriving at a different conclusion, but maybe we will. So at this point, let's just bring it out, and from now on, let's do that. That way we're not in this situation again, to where that way we can move on these items. So with that, anything else? Are we ready to adjourn then?
Hasta Mayor.
Have a motion?
A
The
second.
second, man.
I have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Jones. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, raise your left hand. Okay, thank you so much. Meeting adjourned. It is 6:36 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Likewise.